My guest this morning is a man who's been a friend of Southern California, a friend of this church for, well, I guess Tom and I have been friends for 12, 15 years. The mayor of the city that is the greatest city in the United States of America, second only to the city you live in. Tom Bradley, mayor of Los Angeles, California. Welcome. You know, Tom, I meet people around the country and they say to me, Schuller, you're taller than you look on television. And just as I'm getting them to believe I'm not short, I have you as a guest, and I really look small next to you. You know why I admire you. I admire you because you were born in poverty, son of a sharecropper, and you rose to become mayor of the, well, I want to say the greatest city in the world, which might be a slight overstatement. But where did you come from, and how did you get from there to where you are?
I was born in a little town called Calvert, Texas. It's near Texas A&M. Those who know anything about Texas probably know that site. I came from a family of sharecroppers, and it was a pretty tough life. You know, every week they worked from sunrise to sunset, and at the end of the week they were deeper in debt than they were at the beginning of the week. And so my father and mother decided there was a better life somewhere. And they looked to California and decided we should come here and try to improve not only their lot, but more importantly, to improve the opportunities for their children. So they were possibility thinkers, though they didn't call it that.
And you went on not only through high school, but through the University of...
UCLA. I started here in the public schools of Los Angeles. I came to Los Angeles when I was 7 years old. But it was through the public school system in Los Angeles that I established my foundation in terms of academic training, and went to UCLA on a scholarship, football and track scholarship. And following that, I entered the police department in Los Angeles, and I guess you'd say the rest is history. I served there for 21 years, and ultimately, after having gone to law school and passed the bar and started the practice of law, a group of businessmen called upon me and asked me if I'd run for the city council. I had never thought of running for public office before, but it was another opportunity to serve the public. And so I gave it some thought for about 3 days and decided that here was a time in my life when I was about to make a transition into private practice of law. And I hadn't yet made all of that big money, so I wouldn't miss it. So I decided I'd go on and serve in public life, and that's how I ran for the city council.
Now, through all of this, weren't you ever led to believe that probably you couldn't do it, it wouldn't work, maybe because you were black, et cetera, et cetera?
You know, throughout my life, I have done many things, and after having done them, somebody pointed out to me, you know, you were the first black ever to do this, whether it was an election to school office or being selected for the Phoebian Society or being elected to the city council or as mayor. I never ran. I never tried for any of those positions because I wanted to be the first black. I just wanted to be in that position because I thought I was the best in that capacity. And so it has always been that positive outlook that drove me to seek higher and more expansive service. And that's the way I shall always run my life.
I was impressed, and I think everybody was, whether they voted for you or didn't in the governor's campaign, impressed by the fact that at no time did you express any bitterness on the fact that you lost or that it probably was due to the racist vote. I'd like to ask you a question. Newsweek magazine reported that your loss, I think, was by
52,000 people, and that's about 2 votes per precinct in the state of California.
Only 2 votes a precinct, which ought to tell us all that every vote counts. But Newsweek magazine reported that as people exited the polls, 4% of them said they didn't think they'd ever be able to vote for a black governor. Admitted that. And Newsweek magazine said 4% of the votes translates into 155,000, so that would have made the difference between your not being elected. And now, Do you still stand on the statement that you made that you didn't think racism would be an overwhelming or a decisive factor in the election?
Absolutely. I had never said that there would not be anybody who would not be motivated on the basis of race. I said that race would not be a significant factor. Now, when you look at the fact that 3,800,000 Californians voted for Tom Bradley, that's the positive side of that election, and I will never... I think we should not lose sight of that kind of thing. That's the reason I don't let anybody tell me, well, you know, it was because of race that you lost, or because of this or that. I have never looked for an excuse or a scapegoat. I find security and comfort in the fact that I came this far. I achieved this much. And let's not look at the negative side of this thing. Let's look at the positive, the possibility thinker, if I may. And that's what I've done, and that has given me that sense of security. And I want you also to know that throughout all of my life, because of the religious training that started at my mother's apron strings, I have always recognized that no matter what I did in life, it wasn't solely because of me or my energy or my efforts or the hard work that I may have put into it. I look to the Lord, because I think that's where we must find that kind of strength and that kind of security. That's how I'm able to face a failure of achieving a particular goal in life and not be destroyed by it, but be prepared to come back if that is necessary and to try it all over again and to look for new goals and set new horizons.
Tom Bradley, you're an inspiration to all of us. God loves you, and so do I. Set your goals high. Oh, what are your goals? Going to run for governor 4 years from now?
Well, let's just say I'm going to keep my options open to serve in public life.
Typical politician. Okay. You're terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.